All right. So we're just going to kick this off with a couple of votes on IBC milestones. The first one I'll bring up is IBC Milestone 5. We talked about it last week. It needed validation. Nathan James did approve this. He added some notes, and the one thing I'm only bringing up, not to suggest we don't say it's complete, but perhaps for future work, is that his comment was the UIs were on the rudimentary side, but the outputs were good, and they absolutely could be used. So are there any questions with that? Obviously, Guillaume is here to answer. Okay, so
just to confirm, is that the one that we discussed last week?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so vote to release payments, or maybe I should say, well, we're not going to vote to take a vote. So I'll just take the vote, and if you're not ready to say yes, then just say no or abstain right now. So, EOS?
Yes.
TELOS?
Yes.
Wax?
So yes as well.
All right. And then obviously UX abstains. All right. That one is done. So it's down. So the next milestone is milestone 8. Now, this is support and consult with history solution providers to provide proof APIs. And the 3 things were called out. There was Firehose, State History Plugin, and Trace API. We have formally received approvals. Denis from EOS Nation approved Firehose. Jesse, you're on the call, and Aaron, you're on the call. You guys approved State History Plugin and Trace API. Any questions about this status? Okay. Let's vote to release. Right, yes?
I vote no.
Hey.
No, I vote yes. I was just waiting to see what was going to happen. I vote yes. That was
technically
funny.
Like,
it was funny.
So we knew what you were doing, and so we were just waiting. We were waiting for you to say yes.
Wax?
I'd say yes.
TELOS?
Yes.
And again, UX stays. All right, so I will talk to Adam, the project manager, tell him to release those 2 milestone payments. And so those are the new agenda items. With the status items that we're kind of carrying from week to week, I will, we said this last week, and we're even closer on the release process, which means within the next handful of weeks, the engineers from ENF will be available to start diving into some of these new items. So that would include the P2P optimized transaction propagation, the RAM limitation fixes, and the third one here, P2P Peer Discovery. I believe that is kind of back on track. There was, I saw that Aaron from Wax was able to engage and clear the blocker that existed last week, which is great. So I don't have any other updates on that. Are there any questions about it? Okay, moving on. So we just talked about IBC. Is there any other IBC items, Guillaume, you would like to add as a status?
Yes. So this morning we completed the deployment for most of the I guess like the configuration for adding Wax to the chains that are supported by IBC. The only pending items are for the EOS BBs and for the TELOS BBs to sign the final handshake that will enable everything. So once that's done, I'll be essentially able to complete testing for these chains, and then I will be able to turn over the contracts to the proper authorities of each chain. These are the contracts related to WAX only. So everything has been deployed, of course, a few months ago for the other chains. So once that's done, everything will be good to go. WAX can go ahead and start advertising it, start using it, and that will complete the deployment of IBC on all the coalition chains.
Excellent.
And maybe
Follow questions.
I think Lucas had the other question.
no questions. I'm just very excited.
Very good.
All right, excellent. Do you want to now roll into instant finality?
Yep. So in Finality, we had a discussion with Eric and Bart last week. We agreed that we would postpone reviews on what needs to be reviewed until the AVM launch. So that's going to be, I believe, 8 days from now on April 14th. After which, both Eric and Bart confirmed that they would bump reviews and discussion regarding instant finality on the priority list. So as far as progress goes, the core functionalities have been pretty much completed. Like, we have a few discussion items pending, but these are somewhat minor, and it's looking good.
All right. Any follow-up questions for him on instant finality? All right, moving on to the Wallet SDK. Aaron, do you want to give an update on that?
Sure thing. I think it's milestone 3 was completed. Payment was released over the last 2 weeks, and we are approaching completion on the next 2 milestones. Each one only has one individual line item remaining, one of them being really polishing the user interface, and the other one being a kind of technical document. So we are moving along really well at this point. Things are starting to come together. Right now we're focusing on working with developers from all these communities to test, collect feedback, find bugs, do that sort of thing. I'm kind of leading that charge in Telegram right now. I think we're probably working with between 10 and 20 developers at this point throughout the communities that are like actively trying this, building demos, building it into their applications, things like that. Overall, really positive feedback. And so, yeah, we're entering this phase where we're going to do a little bit of polishing, start really pushing on documentation based on this feedback. And then in the background, we've got developers starting on the 2 other kits that we deprioritized a couple months ago. So updates will come on that probably in a month or 2, but between now and then, it's going to be mostly interacting with all of our various communities and getting people exposed and finding new ways to build apps on all these networks.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Aaron? Excellent. All right, the next one, Antler CDT. I am happy to announce that this code has been finalized and has been rolled into release ready status. So it is now, its future is now related to the rest of the release process. And that's the only update on that. So I think it's good news. The Coalition Ledger app. So there's going to be another meeting set up just to make sure that we have all the web-based marketing components covered. There's a number of pages right now that talk about, the EOS Ledger app, and we want to make sure we identify all of those correctly so that we can follow up with each of the chains and get that information. In terms of the actual development of the product, there are now some resource constraints that were reported actually to me just yesterday. So I'll be escalating that just to, typical stuff. You all know we just need to balance priorities with a number of things. And then hopefully next week I can give an update on if or what impact those decisions will have on the timeline. Any questions on the ledger? Okay. We are done with agenda items, unless anybody has any items you would like to add at this time.
Not I.
Right. Everybody's like afraid to make noise. Like, this is great.
Well, I'm not. I'll make some noise. Good meeting, everybody. Thanks for the time.
All right. Talk to everybody later.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Have a nice
Thanks, guys.
Easter weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
Likewise.
Have a good one.